What's up, explorers? Welcome back to our channel. It's Chu here from Choose to Explore, where I teach you guys how to see the world
and save $1.
So if you guys didn't notice by now, this is not Olivia. This is actually my mother. And if you guys didn't know, my mother is actually from Jamaica, and that's the island that we call home. So this video is going to be a little bit different because Hurricane Melissa truly devastated the country of Jamaica, and especially our hometown, which is in St. Elizabeth, has been destroyed. And we want to show you guys the conditions, and if you guys do feel kind enough to donate to us, we want to show you guys where your money will go and how you can get our small little town back to where it needs to be. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss this one, guys. We drove through the coast down to Black River. There's so much damage. There's houses that are in crumbles and shambles. Honestly, my mother said it was even worse, right?
Yes, 2 weeks ago. I came November 11th. You know, it was really heart-wrenching. The drive had me in tears. All the power lines were on the road and we were driving over them, and it was just really heart-wrenching.
So we're out today to show you guys exactly where your donations and where the money will go when you guys do want to help people. So mommy, talk about this one.
Okay, so this is my aunt, my great aunt Lil. She's one of my favorite aunts. She has a twin sister across the street, but she was badly hit by the hurricane, lost her roof, and it is my intention, along with the help of everybody else who contributes, to help her to get back to her home, because right now she's staying at her daughter's house. Her daughter came and got her before the hurricane, and she was worried that the house would not sustain the hurricane, and true to form, the roof blew and everything she had in the house was damaged. But thank God she's alive, and she's as well as can be expected at this stage in her life, and she wants to be home. Here she has her extended family to give her around you, you know, to give her all the support. As soon as she walked in this morning, everybody came out running to see Aunt Lil.
Yes.
So she wants to be home.
We know she miss our home.
Yes. So my project is to try and help her to get back home.
For 50 years you've been in this house.
Can you don't want her to come inside? No. Okay, so go with Joe.
You guys see there still is some water here now. This was her room and her bed, and as you guys can see, mold in the ceiling here. So you can see some mold that's coming in through here. Wow. Another room. Roof gone. Foundation is gone. And when Hurricane Melissa hit, it didn't just take roofs. It erased the walls that held people's entire lives, memory, and history as well. So if you can't see, or you can hear it, there's a generator running right now, and that's how they're getting any electricity. But if you don't have a generator, there's no power. Same thing right here. So if you see me walking around, and if you guys see the blue on the roof, that's not a style choice. It's because that's the tarps that they're putting on to stop water from coming down. And a lot of the houses, you can even see they have bricks, or they have trees, they have things to hold it down, because the tarps will blow off in the wind as well. All right, mommy, so I'm gonna ask you some questions about the community that you live in. So the first thing that I want to know is, can you talk about the significance of owning land in your community?
In order to answer that question, let me give you a background of Thornton. Thornton is about 2 miles away from Appleton Estate, one of the biggest sugar plantations in Jamaica during the time of slavery. After slavery was abolished in the 1830s, the slaves viewed owning property as a symbol of their independence from their estate and from slavery. Owning property was also a means by which they could pass on generational wealth.
So I don't know if you guys can see, but right behind me, well, I'm in it. This is currently a house that not even just the roof is gone. The whole foundation, the structure is gone. It's just the floor. And if you can see, it used to be a house for about 9 people that lived here. Believe it or not, these are still some of the beds. Just total destruction here. And they are staying in a shelter right now because they don't have any other place to go. Right out there, you can see there's an outhouse where they did go to the bathroom, and their granddaughter who's there, she actually just had a baby in the shelter. So it's just a really hard circumstances for a lot of people here right now. And I just wanted to give you guys a little glimpse of what they're dealing with. After slavery was abolished, there were 2 main obstacles in the way for land ownership. The first one is capital. Because majority of the people in Thornton were laborers, they had very low wages. And 2, financial literacy. In this town, there were no brick and mortar banks, and many people in the community did not have a formal education because they were previously laborers. A way that they were able to overcome this is through community partnerships. Think of a partnership similar to a susu if you're familiar with it. Every pay period, money was taken out of the wages, and money was rotated, and people were given big lump sums at one time that allowed them to have down payments to put down on land. Alright, so I'm here at the Thornton Primary School, which has transformed into the shelter because people don't have places to stay. So I'll show you guys what it's like and what people are staying here. There's about 22 people who are here now. And see, there's rooms here. Well, it's not rooms, it's just beds. This is just a table and some styrofoam that they're sleeping on right now. There's not even enough beds for people, but they makeshift and do the best that they can. For example, look right here. These are chairs and styrofoam that people are staying on. All of their possessions are here. And this is just a big classroom. So, you know, people here, you know, we want to do better for them. But this is really what the reality is at this time right now, unfortunately, because of the hurricane.
Come back with help. This is my son, Darren.
Darren,
how you doing?
I can't see you, but I hear you.
Yeah, how you doing?
I feel your hand. Yeah, man.
So this is, we call him Jaroy, right?
Yeah.
We call him Jaroy. I've known him all my life. Yeah, he was part of the community. He was able to work and buy his piece of land and build a house, the house that we saw. Yeah, we went down there earlier, Master Roy, but we weren't there. So their house was totally devastated by the hurricane, and they're still in the shelter, no place to go. So my aim is to try and help them to at least put a roof over his head. How old are you, Master Roy?
79.
79 years old, and he's blind. And he's totally dependent on his children for help and support. So that's what we're trying to do.
I would really appreciate the help, ma'am. Yes. Because I am blind and I can't help myself again.
Yes.
So whatever help I can get, I will be so thankful for it.
Yeah.
So this house is right down the street from my mother's house. This is Miss Jess, who worked with Mama Myra, who is my mother's grandmother, who raised my mother. And her house is so damaged. The front room, the back room, the roof is gone, and she can't stay in here, but she has no place to go. So there's only one room in the house that has some kind of shelter, and that's the back room, which is actually her bathroom. So she converted her bathroom, well, didn't convert it, but she just put the bed there. So she stays in the bathroom essentially. So she has one tiny little closet where, thanks be to God, that room, the roof wasn't affected as much, but everywhere else the whole house is destroyed, and she's been in this house for years, and it's just that way. So this house right here is my Auntie Estrie's house, my Aunt Shireen's house, and what I remember the most about it is right here. This used to be a chicken coop. She had over like 250 chickens that were here, and she was able to save some of them, but all the chickens are gone. Well, most of them. The structure is there, but look at the roof is gone. There's no chickens that are here. It's just damage you see right here. Oh, look around in the yard. But the good thing is that they're starting to rebuild this roof here. They are unable to stay in this house right now, so they're staying in someone else's house, luckily, but it's an unfortunate situation right now. So much destruction. And just to be super transparent with you guys, every single dollar that we get is going towards the families. I'm going to be coming multiple times throughout the year to Jamaica to check in on the progress that's made and showing you guys exactly where the dollars are going. You may be thinking in your head that, hey, I don't really have much to give, but I just want to be clear that every single dollar that you give matters and is super important to these people. Whether that's $2 or whether that's $2,000, literally any dollar you can give is super important. Just to give you guys an idea of what things cost here, a building block, which they use for building the houses and the cement, is about $1 per building block. If you give $5, that already is 5 building blocks. Now that may not build a house, but that's a starting point for these people. To give you an idea on other costs, a sheet of zinc, which is about $18, is what they use for the roofs. Pieces of wood is give or take about $15 for the long pieces. So we truly appreciate you guys for watching, for taking the time out of your day to support. If you decided to donate, we truly appreciate it as well. So thank you guys so much for checking out our channel. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.